What's up, guys? It's Zero here. Cyberpunk Orion and everything that we want. Let's talk about it. So Cyberpunk 2 or Cyberpunk Orion is the sequel to Cyberpunk 2077. Following Cyberpunk 2077's DLC Phantom Liberty, CD Projekt sent the main people who were involved in Cyberpunk 2077 to Boston to start creating Cyberpunk Orion. Obviously, that's just the project name at this point is Project Orion, but for the sake of the video, we're going to call the second Cyberpunk title Cyberpunk Orion. What I got for you today is the 5 things that I want to see out of Cyberpunk Orion, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it. And what are the things that you'd like to see in Cyberpunk Orion? Let me know in the comment section down below. Coming in at number 1 for me, guys, I really want to see Cyberpunk Orion take the approach of a full package. I talk about this all the time. A AAA title, because obviously it being AAA, that's 3 different A's there. So I believe that any AAA title needs to have 3 main core elements to the game to make it a true AAA title. And that is number 1, a full campaign mode, that being like a single player story. Number 2, co-op modes. And number 3, multiplayer. Obviously, Cyberpunk 2077 was supposed to have a multiplayer that got canned because obviously Cyberpunk 2077 released very poorly and was released early to please investors and things of that nature. And so that was put to the wayside. But with Cyberpunk Orion, now the core team knowing what they did right, wrong, and what they can do different moving forward, I believe a multiplayer would be absolutely incredible for Cyberpunk Orion. Having co-op modes as well as a full single player campaign, I think is going to be awesome because you can go through the story alone and then you can play with your friends in a co-op setting, and then of course play against other people across the globe in a massive multiplayer experience. Coming in at number 2 for me, guys, I would love to see CD Projekt Red take Cyberpunk Orion and make it even bigger, expand upon the world, expand the legacy, the lore, the story here that we got out of Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077, guys, was so rich with so much history and so many different things that you can find out about this world. I really want to see in Cyberpunk Orion them expand upon this and expand the world in a massive way. And that leads me into number 3. At number 3, guys, I really want to see new characters, new enemies, new locations, as well as new weapons. Don't get me wrong, Cyberpunk 2077 was awesome in this category with introducing different characters and us being able to use a variety of different weapons and seeing different locations, but part of expanding the world and expanding the lore and the story of Cyberpunk, I really want to see here in Cyberpunk Orion them really expand upon the arsenal of weapons that you can utilize, the way you traverse the world, and being able to, obviously customization is a massive part of that, being able to customize your character and customizing your weapons even further here in Cyberpunk Orion, I think would be awesome. I'm not saying to go away totally from, what worked in Cyberpunk 2077 with the different characters. We want to see existing characters, existing locations, existing enemies and weapons and things of that nature, but definitely with expanding upon all of that to new weapons, new enemies, new, characters in general that you're coming across within the world. I think this would be absolutely awesome for Cyberpunk Orion. Coming in at number 4 for me, guys, one of the things that was really talked a lot about, within the Cyberpunk community was third person versus first person. And obviously first person, that being, in Cyberpunk 2077, you would play in first person the entirety of the game outside of being able to go in third person when you're driving your vehicle. Now, obviously, you can download a JB mod where the camera sits behind V and you're able to play the game within third person. But what I'd love to see here in Cyberpunk Orion is an option whether you want to go first person or third person. I think this adds a level where a lot of people out there who are used to playing third person games, they can come to Cyberpunk and they can feel at home. And then the same thing goes with first person, gamers out there like myself. We can continue playing in first person, or we can make the decision whether or not we want to go into third person in certain situations. I can tell you from Cyberpunk 2077, I loved playing in first person, but when I was driving my vehicle, I did not like first person. So I love the option to go into third person. I think having that option is going to expand upon the player base and really, expand the options that you have here at your disposal in Cyberpunk Orion. Last but not least, guys, at number 5, the biggest thing for me out of everything, because of everything that transpired with Cyberpunk 2077, as shaky of a launch that it was, CD Projekt Red, they believed in the game. They continued to invest hundreds of millions of dollars worth of resources to get it into a stable place. And now look at where it is, guys. An incredible game, one of my favorite games of all time. Well, at number 5, guys, I really want to see, the guys over at CD Projekt Red, just take your time. That is the biggest thing for me, guys. Cyberpunk Orion, even though we want to play this game right here, right now, I really want CD Projekt Red to take their time with this next title, because I believe that it could be something incredibly special if they just take their time. Obviously, CD Projekt Red is also working on the next Witcher title, and there's also some other titles that they're working on behind the scenes, probably some new IPs and things of that nature. I believe that The Witcher is going to be the next title coming out from CD Projekt Red, and then following that is going to be Cyberpunk Orion. And so I really want to see the guys and girls over at CD Projekt Red just take your time. And I believe that investors now understand that, obviously the launch that was Cyberpunk 2077, one of the most anticipated and hyped games in video game history, launched too early. And because of that, it resulted in, lots of people uninstalling the game, had tons of returns, things of that nature that really hurt the title. So if you take your time, you make sure that it's well refined, and even if it's, years away, guys, I'm okay with that. Just launch the game when it's ready to go. And yes, of course, like any title out there, there's going to be, bugs and glitches and things of that nature, but just get it to a stable place. And then any time that there are issues that come up, jump on it immediately, listen to the community and, the community feedback. And I believe Cyberpunk Orion could be one of the biggest games in history when we talk about video games. So those are the 5 things, guys, I would love to see out of Cyberpunk Orion. What are the things that you want to see out of the title? Do you have 5 things, 10 things, 100 things? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And at the end of the gameplay, check out my next Cyberpunk Orion video. And if you guys enjoy it, make sure that you leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, just keep grinding. And as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.